Okay, everything else is still the same. Still got 77 degrees here, 130 degrees here, and we can double check this, 150 degrees there. Okay, now I need to mirror what I've just created, and I'm going to use this command right here. It's called the mirror command. I'm going to click on the mirror command, and what it's asking me to do right here is to select the geometry that I want to mirror. So I'm going to select this line, this line, this line, and this line. I'm not going to select this line because that's going to be my mirror line. So I go back to my dialog box here and click on the mirror line selection and select that center line. Then I click apply, and now as you see I have my whole a sketch of my entire base. Click done, and then of course we can click finish sketch. Now we're going to extrude. I'm going to go back to my drawing and see how far I need to extrude it. So we're looking at this from the side. We'll go over here to this view, and we see that it is 4.724 inches wide. So 4.724 is how far I want to extrude it. Select both pieces of the geometry there, and 4.725. And there we go. There's the block of the base. Anyway, now of course there are some other features that like some fillets and things like that, but we're going to wait till the very last before we do our fillets. We don't want those fillets to interfere with the other geometries that we have to create going in here. So next thing we need to do is we need to put those two little loops that hold the lamp's arm up, it's actually going to have two arms, one arm on each side. So first thing I want to do is start a sketch up here and click on the face, and I'm also going to rotate it around so I'm looking at it in the same direction that my drawing is here. And what I'm going to do here, this is kind of tricky what I'm going to do, but I'm going to project geometry. Right now I'm working on this plane right here. I'm working on that plane of the lamp base, but I need lines that are below that plane to dimension to. So what I'm going to do is project geometry, and I can click here and tell it to project cut edges. Okay, and I got that edge. Okay, maybe I just need, there we go. Okay, I change it to just plain old project geometry, and I got that edge. Okay, you see there, those that geometry is kind of suspended in midair. I'm going to use that to measure off of and to make sure everything is set to the right dimensions. So I want to create those two little plug looking things there. They're going to hold the lamp arm, and I'm going to start with a rectangle. Click on the rectangle, and I'm just loosely going to draw it right here, and then I'm going to start dimensioning it. Alright, so there's my rectangle. I'm going to go back to my drawing, and I see here that it is 1.81 inches from the side of the extension piece to the side of the base itself. So I'll set that first. Dimension, click here and click here, and it is 1.181. Next, I'm going to get this dimension here that shows how far inset this edge of this piece is from this edge, and it is 2.615. So I'm going to click here, 2.615, I believe I said. I'm going to double check that. Yeah, 2.615. Now, of course, the width of the piece here, if I go up here to my top drawing, is 0.394, so it's 0.394 inches wide. Let's see, 0.394. So that is in place. We've got all the different dimensions that will put it in the right place. I'm going to finish sketch, and I'm going to extrude that. I'm going to click on the extrude, click on the geometry that I want to extrude, and now I need a distance that I want to extrude it. So I'll go back here, and it is also from the base all the way up to the tip top there, 1.181. 1.181. Okay, so there it is. There's that feature. Of course, there's only one of them. We know we have to have two of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mirror that also. To mirror that, I need to place a mirroring plane right in between, just right there in the middle of the product itself. And start by going to the origin folder. I'm going to click it open there, and say no, that's not the plane I want. I want this plane right here, the XY plane. I'm going to right click on it, and then I'm going to go down here and turn it on by clicking visibility. And I'm going to offset it, so I'm going to click on the plane command here and then choose offset from plane. Once I click on it, it shows me my arrow. I can pull my arrow to the center, but I want to make sure it's dead center. So I'm going to go back to my drawing here, and I'm going to split this dimension here because this is what we're looking at right here, and we want the plane to go right down through the middle. So 4.724, okay, half of that, 4.724 divided by 2 equals 2.362. 2.362. So I'm going to set this at 2.362, and that puts it dead center. Accept it. And again, going back to the mirror command, the feature is this right here. That's what I want to copy. And then of course the mirror plane, I go here and select mirror plane and choose that plane right there. And then I click OK, and there's our feature again. Now to make my work, the next phase of my work here, simple, I'm going to turn off the visibility of both of those planes. I turned off the XY plane, and I'm going to turn off this work plane that I created. And there we go. Now I can place the fillets and things all around that make this part look a bit smoother. And we have some measurements regarding that. We see here that our fillets on these edges here that provide the contour of the product is 0.197. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my part here. I'll click fillet, and we'll click 0.197. And I'm going to click on those edges and Click OK to smooth them out. The next thing I want to do is I want to also fillet around the product itself. Take all the sharp corners off of it, and that one I'll find here on this drawing looking down onto the base, and that is a 0.2 inch radii. So fillet. I always want to say fillet, but it's really fillet. 0.2. Alright. And then I'm going to go around and select all. And if you're lucky, like this right here, normally it doesn't always do this, but it just highlighted the entire contour. Click that. Go over here, do the same thing. Click that. So the entire contour is now filleted. Click the green arrow check mark. Everything looks nice and smooth. Now I also want to put a fillet on these two edges on the top of those two extensions we just created. And that is a radii of 0.394. So again, fillet 0.394. Select the edges. Okay. Now I want to put a hole through the middle. Now this hole doesn't seem to be centered, so I'm not really going to use that as far as putting it that far forward. I'm going to actually center it when I put it on my base. What's the word I'm looking for? The diameter. That's it. The diameter of that circle is 0.374. So I'm going to place the circle, and I'm going to place it as a hole using the hole command. Okay, and I'm going to place it using linear references, and I'll show you what I mean by references here. And the size of the hole again was 0.374. Okay, so I want to set this at 0.374. And place the hole right here, and I'm just gonna pick a spot, place it. All right, and now that I'm setting the placement linearly, it goes from the face. It goes in here and it highlights reference number 1. So my first reference is going to be the top, and then it goes to reference number 2. My second reference is going to be this line here. Now what that does is that centers the hole up on that piece of geometry. And then I click OK. And there we go. We got a hole all the way through both sides. So that is the base. The base is done.